Hi, my name is Alessandro Del Sole, and today I'm going to show you how you can use Visual Studio LightSwitch against MySQL databases. Assuming you already installed the MySQL database engine, the first thing you need to do at this point is downloading and installing the connector for .NET. Connector 6.4.4 supports the ADO.NET Entity Framework and acts like an ADO.NET Entity Framework provider that can be used by Visual Studio LightSwitch. Once you have downloaded and installed the connector, you are ready to use MySQL as the data source. So let's create a new LightSwitch application. I'm calling this simply MySQL demo. So when the new project is ready in Visual Studio, I'm going to connect to an external data source. Then I select the database. Then here I can choose a different data provider, but here I'm selecting the MySQL database. I'm specifying the local server name, then the username and my password. Then I'm going to select my database. I have a sample database here called Classic Models that you can easily find by searching the internet. Okay, Visual Studio LightSwitch is retrieving the database objects. This is familiar to you, since it is exactly what you see when working with SQL Server databases. I can select one or more tables from my MySQL database. I select customers here, and I wait for Visual Studio LightSwitch to generate a new entity based on the customers table. So as you can see here, Visual Studio LightSwitch has mapped the, um, the MySQL table into a .NET entity. Let's create a new screen for the data. A screen, I'm simply selecting an editable grid screen, and I'm OK. This is just to show how simple it is working against the MySQL database. Of course, you are not limited to this, but you can add as many screens as you like according to your needs. Before being able of running the application correctly, there is a trick that you have to do, which is opening the file view, then adding a reference inside the server project to an assembly called system.transactions. Okay, let's revert to the logical view, and then let's right-click the data source and then view code. What we have to do now is using a code snippet so that we can make a code block transactional. This is basically a code snippet that you will use every time you desire to work with the MySQL database. So basically here we are marking a code block as transactional, and the transaction scope option is required, and the isolation level is read committed. Let's run the application. I remove the application inside the screen recording area. The application is loading data. And here you go. You can see how the list of customers from the MySQL database has been correctly retrieved by the LightSwitch application. So let's make an edit to the first row here, just to demonstrate that it works. Okay, I save my data. Okay, so Let me show again the data, and as you can see, our edit has been correctly saved back to the MySQL database. Of course, Visual Studio Light Switch will still require an instance of SQL Server Express because data such as the ASP.NET security information cannot be saved to a MySQL database. Okay, thank you for taking your time in watching this video.